don't think you can judge your generation by you. I think it's a mistake.
Could be.
The Hunchback of Romania. With the weight of the world. And then we're going to give you so you can whip yourself. So, but I mean, the world's changed. 10, 15 years ago, nobody would have sent me this. And now they talk about it. And some of them talk it in a braggadocious way. I want to be billionaire. And some people, we've only had one person come through the seminar and said who they wanted to be a trillionaire. Does anybody know who it was?
Yeah, Lucinda Burke.
Correct. Lucinda Burke. And she broke all my records, raising money, doing deals, etc., etc. And then she went off the rails. And because the dark side of being super successful, super fast, and getting ostensibly all the trappings, like you see some of the athletes who make big money, they go and do bad things, they make mistakes, is the front lobe of our brain is not fully developed until you're 29 or 30 years old. The front lobe of your brain. Okay, so you're almost mature. In your particular case, it'd probably be 35. But normally, 28 to 30 years old, the front lobe of your brain is fully matured. And that's where you reason, etc., etc. So when these kids make this big amount of money when they're 25, 22, Zuckerberg's a classic example. He didn't handle his public offering correctly. He stayed silent. He didn't go out and say he was sorry for losing everybody's money, etc., etc. Okay. But now, kids think differently. Some of what they think, big, bodacious goals, is great. Unfortunately, they don't have the logic behind it most of the time, unless they hook up with a dream team, etc., etc. But the whole idea behind this is even if you're an old dog can learn a new trick. An old dog can learn a new trick. A godfather can learn a new trick. It's a little slow for you, but you're not the first godfather I turned to the dark side, so I'm still working at it. And the kids that are watching this on YouTube, and if they ever see this film that's going in my time capsule, they'll realize that big bodacious goals are good. You know, 4 or 5 years ago, or 3 years ago, Marcus wouldn't have thought of dealing with a minister, or what's a minister, whatever the fuck he is.
Energy.
I mean, to get assets from the government. It wouldn't have thought gone through his mind. And but it's possible, and it's doable, and we're going to do it. So all these things are possible for all the slides that we've gone through so far. But you got to think big. If it doesn't dominate your mind, doesn't not dominate your thought process, and if you visualize it and you have affirmations, it becomes a self-fulfilling fucking prophecy. It's like the guys I've talked about. John Elway, 3 losses in the Super Bowl, finally wins a Super Bowl, and he's been thinking about throwing a touchdown to win a Super Bowl since he's 6 or 7 or 8 years old. It's possible. And no matter how many mishaps you've had, you keep coming back. I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And I don't agree with everything that you do, but you keep coming back. And that's the most important thing, is you got to keep coming back. Because I make the analogy in closing, in baseball. Most of us, and I allude to it in my 1993 Harvard tape earlier today. For those that aren't familiar with baseball, you're throwing the ball and there's a batter that's hitting the ball. Okay. Well, most of us in life stand in the dugout. Dugout meaning the area where the batters sit before they go up and play. And we watch the game going on. We watch the game going by. Like the slide said, what the fuck's going on? Some of us stand up in the batter's box, practice box, and as you're watching pitching to somebody, I think I can hit that ball, okay? Some of us actually go up to the plate. Here's the plate. Okay, the ball's got to go over. But you stand there with your bat on your shoulder and you don't swing. Some of us actually take a stance, but you still don't swing. The only way you can hit the ball out of the park or get on base is by swinging. That's what you're here to learn, is that you can't hit the ball unless you swing at the plate. And you certainly can't hit a home run or a grand slam unless you swing at the plate. If you swing at the plate and the bat meets the ball, you've got an opportunity. But if you don't swing, you can't. Some of you watching this on YouTube have never been out of the dugout of life. You're fucked. Some of you have actually been up and swung at the plate. And some of us have swung at the plate and missed. Burl Crump, one of my success stories, has said the biggest thing I learned from Dan, because Burl was already a multimillionaire when I met her 20 years ago, is that I've got to feel more comfortable swinging at the plate. And now she is. She does swing at the plate. And she has big, bodacious goals. So, in closing, I would say, vis-a-vis stuff like this, you know, Michelle has confidence enough to send this to me. She didn't know I was going to put it up in the seminar, but and she thinks, and she's dealing with some pretty successful people, not necessarily the right people, and I've told her that before, because a billionaire or a guy with a lot of money giving you $50,000 or $100,000 is like buying you lunch. Doesn't mean a fucking thing. Now, it might mean something to you because you need the $50,000 or $100,000 for cash flow, but it doesn't mean a fucking thing to a rich guy or gal or group. Some people will give you $50,000 or $100,000 just to get you off their fucking back. Don't call me 7 times a day. Here's the money. Go fuck yourself with it. Now, if somebody gives you $10 million, even a rich guy won't give you $10 million unless he's serious. And if you get $100 million or $300 million or a lot of money like I have in the past, they're dead serious. Because no, I don't care how rich you are, you don't want to piss away $100 million or $300 million bucks. And that's what we're going to learn the next few days. Thank you. I'm seeing you. What time? Are you first?
7:50.
I'm first.
You're first.
Yeah, 6:30.
Okay. Very good. Any questions? Okay, we'll see you at dinner.